Humble yourselves before the Lord and he will exalt you. James 4 verse 10. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm back with another makeup tutorial. This is my everyday go-to makeup look. If I just want to look put together but not do eyeshadow and all of that, this is what I will do. This is not a natural makeup tutorial. Natural one is coming, don't worry. It's more on the glam side, but it's not like full glam to me. If you'd like to see how I achieved this makeup look, then please carry on watching. Alright, so first things first is your skin. You want to make sure your skincare is applied. Whatever you use, make sure you're cleansing, toning, moisturizing and SPFing. In this period right now, I have dry skin, so I'm going to overcompensate with my moisturizer. Another thing, your makeup, your base would also determine what your finished look is going to look like. So I like to have a very dewy, glowy skin like base, so but still matte in the right areas. So I prime kind of like with that in mind as well. So now I'm going to moisturize with the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Water Cream. If you have super dry skin, the Magic Cream original version is perfect because it's nice and thick. This one is a gel formula, so it's a lot more lightweight on the skin. I already have moisturizer on, so this is just like a top up, like a boost, extra boost of moisture in my skin. So as you can see, it's finished. That's how much I love this cream. So I'm going to take, not too much, about this much on my skin. This is an optional step, you don't have to do this, but I like my skin to be extra moisturized, only because I know I'm going to be applying a lot of powders and stuff like that, so I don't want my skin to be dry at the end of it. And then another step that I've recently introduced, not recent but I wasn't as consistent with it before, is eye cream before my makeup. This is the Inkey List caffeine eye cream and I think it's £10. It's £9.99. And now I never miss this step. When I miss this step, I find that it's easier for my under eyes to crease. Obviously concealer and powder plays a part, but honestly if you have dry under eyes, that also plays a massive role. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with this Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Glow Serum, and this is in the shade Juice Boost, and this is just going to add that extra glow to my skin. So I literally apply it where the light hits my face. So I'll apply it here, here. It's a serum, but I apply it on top of my moisturizer, kind of like a primer. And then literally just blend that into my skin, and it just sinks into your skin. And I'm gonna prime with the Pat McGrath Labs Skin Fetish Primer, a very small amount. I feel like a little goes a long way with this, so I take it in my T-zone area, not even really, like just my chin and my nose. It blurs and mattifies that area, as you can see, but it doesn't like dry out your skin too, which I really like. For my brows, I'm gonna use the NYX Microfine Brow Pencil. I'm just literally gonna elongate the tail a bit, and then I line underneath all the way to the front, and then I create small hair-like strokes in the front, and then I brush the product through my brow. I'm gonna conceal my brows using this Sigma Firm Shader brush. So what I do is just mix my concealer with my foundation to create a shade that's not too harsh for underneath my brows, and then I start at my arch, and then I work my way down to the tail, and then whatever's left I just literally take it towards the front of my brow. I kind of like drag it underneath and spread it out. That way it's just easy to blend. I'm basically blending it out without blending it out, just spreading it out. And look, moving on to foundation, I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Luminous Foundation, and this is in the shade 500C. The best way I can describe this foundation is literally like the NARS Natural Radiant Longwear foundation in like a glowy version. Buildable coverage, like medium coverage, but it can be full coverage if you want it to. Glowy finish, great color range. Yeah, if I don't use foundation, I would use a skin tint. This is the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin tint. So if I'm not using foundation, I would use this on an everyday basis. And I'm going to show you on one side how it looks, just so you see the shade match. This is my Yummy Skin Face 1.0 brush, and it's by Danessa Myricks. And I'm just going to blend that into my skin, and you're going to see how well this literally, guys, look. It's just so good. Like, it's just so good. Look at how that blends into my skin. By the way, I've only used half a pump of foundation so far. Like, you don't need a lot of this foundation, honestly. A little goes a long way. So I'll say one pump literally covers my entire face. And I just feel like this brush as well just blends so well. I probably applied the least amount of product on my forehead. I kind of like to use my foundation as like a base for my concealer. Some people don't apply foundation underneath their eyes, but me personally, I like to do that. It's just like a blank canvas for my concealer. Or yeah, because I don't really color correct. I just go with a concealer that's like my skin tone. But if the coverage on my foundation is good enough, then yeah, it's a go. All the excess, I just take it on my eyelid. So guys, my technique is the same, but my products are always changing. Like, I could use this product today and another product tomorrow. So for concealer, I'm going to use the Pat McGrath Labs Skin Fetish Concealer, also Sublime Perfection range. And this is in the shade MD22. If I like something, I'm going to use it over and over and over again. So usually I'll use the Born This Way concealer. But as of recent, this concealer has had a grip on me. This concealer doesn't feel heavy, it doesn't feel cakey. It's just so good. So I'm gonna go in with this as my first concealer. I open it and I kind of like brush off the excess on my brush. I spread out my concealer. Oh, sorry. I spread out my concealer. I really like this applicator because it's just, I don't know, it applies really smoothly. So I spread out the concealer like that. And I use the back of the applicator as well, just to get all the products. Apply it around my mouth. Along the bridge of my nose and my forehead. I'm gonna go back in with a little bit more on the applicator just to like spread out what I have there already, and then I'm just gonna connect it to my upper lip. So this is what it should look like. It looks like a lot, but because of the way I spread it, that's why it looks like a lot. There's a few places that I blend out first and then I let the rest sit. So I'm gonna go in and blend out my forehead first, but I just blend out the edges of this. Like so. So the actual product is still there, but the edges have been blended out. And then this area I like to just blend it out, just because I just like to blend it out. I don't really let it sit as long. Blending. I'll just leave my under eyes. I apply my under eyes first so they sit the longest. So whilst I blend everything else out, it's like I have a mustache. Whilst I blend everything else out, I'm gonna just, yeah, let that sit. And by the time I get there, it's a bit thicker in consistency. So just gonna blend out my forehead. And I like this concealer because of the actual shade and undertone. It's not too yellow. It's a bit yellow, but it's more on the neutral side. Don't have to explain it. It's more on the neutral side, so it's not like an overbearing yellow undertone where you can clearly see this is a yellow undertone. This is more of like, it's yellow but it's on the neutral side. Whereas a lot of my other concealers are more like yellow, yellow, yellow. Okay, so this is how my face tends to look after I've blended out my first round of concealer. So as you can see, this is how it should look. We're on the right track. So now I'm going to go with my second concealer. I know it's a lot, but I said it was everyday. I didn't say it was natural. This is the Light Butter Concealer by Chem Beauty, or Shop Chem. It's a bit brighter. It's probably like one shade, you know, one shade above the Pat McGrath concealer, but yeah, it's a lot thicker in consistency and the coverage is a lot more coverage. Same thing, I brush off the excess on the lid and then I take it literally there. And there, yeah. So I'm just spreading it out. That's all that I do with this. That's literally it. Blending out the edges. Concealers naturally have like a self-setting agent inside. I don't know, they just set on their own. Most concealers these days. So that's why some concealers, they literally like this. You put it on your face before you even pick up your sponge to blend. It's already locked in. You get what I mean? This concealer dries down not too quickly, but it does dry down quite fast. So when I come back to blend, it's not going to be hard to blend, or it's not going to create any harsh lines of demarcation because I let it sit and I don't blend out the edges. So blend out the edges makes everything nice and smooth, and when you come back to blend, it's just nice and easy. I hope that makes sense. Bronze with the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. This shade, Rich Ebony, chef's kiss. I have a lot of bronzers, but this particular shade, I feel like everyone, if you're my skin tone, two shades darker, you should have this. You should have this in your kit. It's literally £8, I think. But the color, the blend, everything just makes sense. Yeah, so I'm just gonna apply it here. Very small, very small amount, because a little goes a long way with this concealer. It feels so weird like doing this makeup tutorial. I just feel like I'm either talking too much or talking too little. It's hard for me to get back into the flow of things, but it's fun. It's actually really fun. Like, I actually miss doing YouTube videos. So I'm just gonna blend out that concealer here as well. Just blend it out. This might not have been the best brush to use, but I'm making do with what I got. Yeah, as you can see, a little, like, look how intense it is, but it's not like too much. The first blush I'm going to take is the Yummy Skin Prima Donna Blurring Balm blush. A little goes a long way. Look how much. This is my Hourglass 15 brush. I'm going to take this, literally. This blush is very pigmented, so I need to be very careful. But yeah, these blushes are so good. Another shade that I use is Golden Hour, and another shade that I use is Dancing Queen. If you have dark skin, woo, Dancing Queen is so good on dark skin tones. It's like a purple. It's just like the most beautiful purple. This is what Prima Donna looks like. It's more of a ruby red. Now that the blush is applied, I'm going to go in and blend out this concealer. I feel like this concealer has been sitting longer than I usually would, but it's because I'm explaining every step. Concealer. See, as you can see, this part is really dried down, but not super dried, but it has dried down compared to the rest. So I literally just keep tapping that area until it becomes blendable, and then I just blend it out. And look, and then just go back in and blend that out. Moving on to setting powder, I'm using the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Loose Setting Powder in the shade Banana Bread. So I take a sponge, and it has like a nice even layer, kind of like dust off the excess and like roll the excess powder in my hand. So I'm not applying a lot of powder. I tap it very, very lightly. I do literally one tap around, and whatever's not like set, I go back in with the powder on my hand and just press it again. So for example, if I was to go like this and there was like a wet patch here, which there kind of is, I'm not going to keep blending it out. I'll just keep, I basically do like one sweep, and then I go back in with more powder, and I go in to where it's not set properly. And now that everywhere's set, I just literally blend it in, if that makes sense. And just press that in. Just gonna go back in with a bit more. And then when it comes to my nose, I just use whatever's left and just blend that out, because I don't like my nose to be super set, even though it looks super set right now. But when I put setting spray, it's not going to be as matte as the rest of my face. And then I'm going to apply a really slight layer around my mouth and my forehead. You want to make sure you get into every nook and cranny of your face. And then whatever's left on my sponge, I kind of take that on my eyelid as well, just to set my eyelids. To bronze, I'm going to use the Morphe face palette. I'm going to take these two shades. A little goes a long way, so I'm going to take the smallest amount on this brush that I got from Beauty Bay. It is a BB104 brush. Great brush. This is literally the only brush that I use for my bronzer, because it doesn't pick up too much product and it distributes it very nice and even on my face. So this is one side. I feel like with everything that I do, I'm very, very light-handed, so you don't want to go in too heavy-handed. If you find that you struggle to be light-handed with your brush, then hold your brush like at the tip, and you will be a lot more light-handed with your application. But literally, you want to avoid harsh lines, harsh application. Apply little, then build it up, rather than going in all guns blazing. So I start literally at the top of the bridge of my nose, and I just create two lines going down very lightly, and then at the bottom, the tip of my nose, and it's just going to lift my nose a bit, or give the illusion give the illusion. And then yeah, I'm just gonna create very, very soft, very, very soft, nothing too harsh. And then I dust off whatever's left, and I just connect that to the top of my brow, and I just blend out. I don't put any powder on it, I just literally just blending it out, just so it's not as harsh. This is one of my favorite powder puffs of all time. This is the Revolution. This is my favorite powder puff of all time, closely followed by Trigwell Cosmetics. This powder puff is so good. Revolution do not know what they have. If you don't have this powder puff, you need to get one of these. Like, this powder puff is the best powder puff that I've had. Yeah, I said what I said. Same thing with my sponge. I take the powder, then I brush, well, swipe off the excess on my hand, and then I go in starting from the line of my nose contour, and I just press it into my skin, but lightly, so that it's not sinking into my skin but sitting on top of my skin. More. And this way I can just bake. So this is what it should look like. I'm going to take a bit more directly underneath my eye. And I'm going to take my bronzer brush again. I'm not adding anything on, just whatever's left. I'm just going to go around the edges of that. Same way I do my concealer, where I blend out the edges. Kind of like diffusing the edges of this bake situation. I feel like a powder puff gives it a nice filtered effect. So just makes it look nice and airbrushed. I'm going to use the MAC Studio Fix Pro Set and Blur powder on, just pat it on my skin, that much. And now I'm going to go back in and just fill in my brows again. For eyeliner, I used one or two. This is the Lancome eyeliner and this is the Revolution eyeliner. So these two are my go-to eyeliners. I'm going to use the Revolution today. Drag it outwards and then create a line, connect it. Okay, so now I'm gonna just kind of dust off some of the powder where I would apply my blush. I'm gonna go back in with this blush as well, and yeah, just gonna apply a lot. Not a lot, not too much. I think I already applied too much. It's too late to be saying not too much. But okay, this is a lot, but don't worry. Okay, it's not that bad actually. Now that I've blended it out, it's actually not that bad. It's actually alright. Yeah, not too bad actually. I'm just gonna dust off the powder, and this is the brush that I use. It's also by Huda Beauty. So just press that in. Just pressing on all the, I guess, residue from the baking, and just letting it sink into the skin. When it comes to like little marks, I like to take some dried down concealer. So concealer that I've let sit on my hand, and I just literally just put that on top. And it should literally just fix it. Going with a little bit more powder on top again, and then that's it literally. And this is the Destiny Beauty. This is the Dude Moisturizing Setting Spray. To highlight, I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Stick Highlighter, or Cream Highlighter. And it's this lovely pink shade. There's only a certain type of powder highlighter that I use. Not every powder highlighter that I can use, because some of them do look chalky on the skin. But cream liquid highlighters, if you want that glowy finish, they definitely make a difference. I'll show you the difference it makes when I put a highlighter. And I'm not applying a lot either. Literally, just where the light naturally hits my skin, I will just apply it there. And then on my forehead, my nose, inner corner. Then I go on top of my blush brush just to like merge it into my skin. And I'm gonna go with my Tatti lashes. So now you can see lashes make an entire difference to your look. Like it elevates, well, makes it a bit more glam than without lashes. So lashes honestly can make a whole difference. So I'm gonna go in with mascara, MAC Stack mascara. This is the Super Dewy Fixing Spray. I'm gonna take that lightly across my entire face. And then I'm gonna go in with my One Size setting mist in the center of my face. And this is the final look. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If it helped you, let me know in the comments down below. If there's any look you would like me to do, then also let me know in the comments down below. I'm open and I'm trying to be consistent this year, so well, for the rest of this year. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe if you're new. If you're a returning subscriber, hey, thank you so much for watching once again. Stay blessed, stay safe and stay prayed up.